Welcome, Spartans, to Mission Debrief. We're playing every mission in the mainline Halo video game series in chronological order, discussing our experiences and sprinkling in a little lore along the way. If you'd like to play along and have your thoughts read on the show, email us at podcastevolved@gmail.com or drop us a tweet at podcastevolved on Twitter. We'll be playing the Forerunner mission from Halo 4 on the next episode. This episode, we're debriefing the Requiem mission from Halo 4. I'm your host, Colin Perkins, alongside David Arnold.
Hello, everybody.
And Krysta Brown.
Guys, I think the pretty blue lady is broken.
Yeah, something's up. Something's not quite right. Last mission was Dawn. Triggered by the pulse of a mysterious scanner, Cortana woke the Master Chief from cryosleep after 4 years, 7 months, and 10 days of floating in space. The Covenant cult was boarding the remains of the Forward Unto Dawn that was on a collision course with a Forerunner planet. John 117 and Cortana got right back to work, expelled the interlopers, and manually activated one of the missiles from the ship's defenses. The explosion destroyed a cruiser from the Covenant ship, but the Forerunner planet opened and pulled everyone inside. This mission is Requiem. Chief dusts himself off after crash landing on a Forerunner planet along with a new Covenant threat. Cortana confesses she's battling rampancy, but her creator, Dr. Halsey, might be able to help. The duo set out to find a ship to escape the planet and head back to Earth. However, an escape ship may have found them instead. The date of this game is just July, at some point in July, which is after the 21st. So we don't really know how long.
The 22nd.
Yeah, exactly. Chief, I'm sure, hit his head at some point on the fall. We don't exactly know how long he was out, but he was out for
I wouldn't say
a
very
little
long.
bit.
I wouldn't say very long.
No.
Not like a day or anything.
Well, the last mission is, I think, the 25th. So yeah, so somewhere in between there is when he woke up on the planet. But let's talk about this crazy cutscene. You get sucked down into the planet, and then you gotta fall and hit hit the ground at some point. David, do you want to talk through this?
I sure will. So the cutscene's kind of awesome. It kind of leads straight off from the previous mission. You get sucked into Requiem. You see the gravity well pulling everything in. That's at the end of that mission. This one kind of starts really fast. Chief just kind of wakes up. Like, you don't really get to see a whole lot. Is that cutscene part of this one or at the end of the last one? Can't really remember.
The very beginning of this is just where you see things falling into the planet.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, I mean, the Covenant and yourself get kind of sucked in, and you wake up just kind of in the wreckage. And the mission just kind of begins kind of straight away.
Well, you have a little chat with Cortana because she's showing the signs of rampancy, and so he really kind of calls her on it. Yeah. And so they have a little face-to-face conversation. He pulls out the chip, and they chat.
That's right.
Gives her the old
yes.
Cortana, tell me the truth. And then she,
Well, one of the things, interestingly enough, one of the things she says during her rampancy is, "We have asked you to give up your family, your childhood, your future," which is Halsey's speech to the kids after she kidnaps them.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's pretty cool, yeah.
Yeah, we've seen similar types of quotes from Halo 3, right?
Yeah, she quoted a lot of Halsey stuff in Halo 3 as well, so.
A little bit of a carryover there, which is, I think, a good callback to that, hey, this stuff's still, something weird's still going on. Everything's not quite right. But we'll find out that pretty quickly, so why don't we just dust ourselves off. You can explore this wreckage here. The wreckage is cool. Like,
yes, it is.
I love exploring this area. It's kind of a big circle area, so it's easy to get lost. You see, some things lit over here. There's Covenant ships amongst the wreckage too. So there's the Forward Unto Dawn. You can find weapons.
I highly recommend that you search through this.
Yeah,
there's some awesome weapon packs. The saw is there, the best weapon in all Halo, except for the pistol from C and maybe the shotgun from C. But it's so good. I love the saw so much.
Do you know the saw stands for something?
Probably.
Soldier automatic
super effective weapon.
I believe I looked it up. I think it was soldier automatic weapon. But anyway, it's an acronym.
That's a terrible name.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
I think that's just the excuse to call it Saw, because Saw is a cool name, and they're like,
exactly.
Better make it mean something.
Yeah,
it's awesome. There's also like cool like interactables too in this kind of area. One is like a Halsey log terminal from 2550, which is pretty cool, where she's like commenting on the fact that Cortana is different than all other AIs, which we know because she was created from a flash clone of Halsey's own brain, off living flesh, which no other AI has ever been created that way. Spoilers. So she's saying, interestingly, that she was able to deactivate her own kill code. So all AIs have like an inbuilt kill code that like so that.
Oh, that's right.
So Cortana deactivated her own one, figured it out, and is also was Halsey kind of theorizes that because of her unique creation, that the 7-year life cycle may not actually apply to her. So she's saying it's very curious. There's like some kind of rogue element she describes as being alive in Cortana's code, and she finds it the source of this. She says it's very curious. So I think this log was one of the most important things, and I lost my shit when I first saw this, because I was like, oh my god, this is like awesome. The idea that like Cortana is so different that like she may not have to die after 7 years. And when you think about like all of the mad things that Cortana has done in her very short life, and especially from Halo CE onwards, I mean, she's absorbed vast amounts of Forerunner information, and some of it is it can kind of sped up her likelihood of going rampant. So like you see all that kind of stuff, and she makes comments in the next mission and stuff like that about like what you do kind of impacts that, and it's like it's very interesting.
A little bit further on, so
yeah.
we'll stay around here, but I just want to stay with this thread because you know we find out more. There's a conversation that happens a little later where she talks about degrading more, and it's just interesting that you say. So I think what she says is that she was created 8 years ago, and the AIs break down after 7 years, and so that note that Halsey just this log that we just found from Halsey saying that maybe this stuff doesn't apply to her is just interesting because she also had, to your point, all the knowledge, and then she had the conversation with the Gravemind, and then since then she's been a little wacky. So is this rampancy? I mean, I think it just kind of puts that into question. Like, is that what's going on, or is it the Gravemind stuff? What is actually happening? It puts a big question mark on all that. Krysta, what are the other terminals? There's some
there's another
Covenant stuff, right?
Yeah, there's 2 Covenant ones. One of them is a translation of Sangheili that says, "Now believers walk the sacred ground, purge the heretics, so that they may now not foul the air of paradise. The time has come to enter the great light. The Promethean awakening is nigh. Our reward is at hand." So, regular crazy Covenant stuff, pretty much.
Yeah.
The other one is probably the most hilarious thing I've ever seen in my life. It is literally, you get close to it, and it's literally just a Sangheili in this cadence going, "Didact." Like in a very sad tone. He sounds very sad.
And
apparently
Cortana
that's
makes
been
an
on...
interesting remark on it.
Yeah, she says apparently it's been on loop for like 3 years.
Yeah.
They've just been sitting outside of this planet for 3 years, like screaming Didact. And then Master Chief shows up and it just automatically opens. So it's probably super hilarious if you really think about it, but it's super fun. I love it.
Yeah, it's very good. I can't imagine what they're doing out there for 3 years. They're just like knocking on the door.
How do they have enough food for 3 years? I mean, are they taking shifts? It's like, all right, it's your turn to watch Requiem. And Steve's like, totally. Shit.
I hate Requiem.
You got a year outside of Requiem. Oh man, that's interesting though. What do you guys pick up? So we talked about the Saw. There's a sniper on top of the wreckage there, and there's like some dying Covenant around. So like there's one that in front that's crawling around that you can either just shoot or you can assassinate him.
Yeah, you pick them up when you assassinate them. It's like hilarious. It's like this poor guy's bleeding out. You just pick him up and like punch him in the face.
I always assassinate them, and the elites. I always assassinate.
So, in order to assassinate, you have to be directly behind them, and they don't know you're there?
You can assassinate them if they know you're there.
Yeah, you just have to be directly behind them.
Oh, okay. Interesting. I'll try that more often now, because I feel like I want to see the assassination for all the enemies, and I just need to. I thought it was triggered by them like not knowing that you were gonna assassinate them though. Okay.
Nope.
No, you literally just have to stand directly behind them.
Nice. I think. Let's see. I think I picked up a sniper, and then I think there's a BR up there. I think I grabbed a BR too.
Hell yeah.
What did you get, Krysta?
BR and plasma pistol.
Oh, because you're on legendary.
Yeah, for this one I did legendary.
Yeah, so you always have to have that intel. How about you, David?
I was on heroic, so I had the saw, and I kept it as long as possible. That.
Do you pick up any? There's ammo, some ammo along the way, right?
For the saw, there is another place where you can get them in this mission, but it's much later on.
What do you get? Like 144? Is that right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. It just spits bullets.
Two clips essentially.
Yeah, it spits them out. It's pretty good. It is fun. All right, so let's go. Wander around the wreckage. Just definitely soak that in. That epic moment. That's the rest of the Forward into Dawn. That's like, it's already been cut in half, and now it's just in pieces all over the place. And then go down into the little cave, and you emerge. And very cool moment here. You kind of see this light at the end of the cave. You keep walking through. You emerge. Right. And you have this moment like, oh, okay, what is this? What are those things in front of you? They're Forerunner structures of some sort. Have you guys talked about that on the regular show at all?
It's never really revealed exactly what they are, but they're some kind of Forerunner facilities.
Okay, and it looks like they're floating, right? They're just
they're just floaty facilities,
up and down, floating around.
The Forerunners are like, there's not enough floaty things here. We need just big floaty things. Well, what are we gonna put in them? I don't know. Just build some floaty things.
There's a tie-in to, isn't the cover of Cryptum one of those floating things too?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So you kind of, if you've read that, which I told you should have at the last episode, so hopefully you did that. But yeah, it ties those two together. So yeah, we explore. We hear this weird Tron type music, which is cool. They're trying to give you a similar feel to when you crash landed on the Halo the first time. This feel of awe and wonder, which I think they do a good job of it, because you don't necessarily know what's going on when you do crash land, because you're coming out of this smoldering shipwreckage. And they also do show you some more shipwreckage along the way. So throughout this mission, you're seeing, more either Forward into Dawn or Covenant ships just kind of crash landed all over. And it just so happens that you find a warthog when you come out, which is great.
Warthog.
I love the look of this warthog. I think they did a good job with their new design. I didn't like the sound either.
I think it's too high pitched. I think if they lowered it a little bit, it would have been fine.
Yes. Same. That was the exact thing that I wrote in my notes. I love the look, but yeah, it's a little off. Other than that, from driving it around, but it feels good, and yeah, you hop in. Is there? I guess maybe I should bring this up later, but is there a way to hop between the driver's seat and the turret?
No, I think that's introduced
that's only
in Halo 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also tried.
Wish there was a way.
Yeah, I was trying to, because I thought it might have been, but no.
It would make it just so much more viable to keep the Warthog the entire time.
As a single player,
really weird playing Halo 4 and Halo 5 like back to back, just because Halo 4 is so close to Halo 5. You feel like you can do the same stuff, but not quite. Like Halo 4, like Halo 4 has maybe like 25% of the stuff you can do in Halo 5. But it's just enough, like, it still feels very Halo 5, though, so it's, like, this weird kind of, I keep wanting to do Halo 5 stuff in Halo 4.
Yeah. No, I hear that. Let's see, what else did I have here in my notes? Oh, I talked about the sound. Then, I guess we just progress here, and then Cortana talks about the condition a little bit more, and we really already covered that. What she says is, hey, if we can get back to Halsey, then maybe she can fix me.
And Master Chief's like immediately on board with this. He's like, yes, this is what we're gonna do right now.
Like, this is the plan. Let's go.
Well, the plan the whole time. I mean, if you think about it, they've been floating in space, right? For 4 years plus, and they really just want to get back home. So they land on this planet. What's the first? Not only do you want to save your AI, but you just want to get back home. So the plan is to get a ship. I mean, the plan would be to get a ship regardless. I guess where the destination would be, the question. But they want to try to get back to Halsey specifically because what she says is she might be able to recompile my neural net by replicating the same conditions that were used to create her to begin with, which I think just means make another Flash clone of Halsey's brain, I would imagine.
And then just you coordinate.
I don't understand how that would. Yeah, I don't understand how that would fix her.
Halo's not very good at explaining this kind of stuff, though. They're just like, Halsey made a Flash clone of her brain, and then bip bop bam, there's Cortana. It's like,
I think they talk about. I think they touch about that later in the game. I think there's a moment where they kind of talk about that. Anyway, so the initial plan anyway is to like, hey, we can make a new Cortana and then maybe transfer or something like that. But let's enjoy our little drive through the wreckage. And there's an achievement here, I believe.
Yes.
Do you remember that, David?
Yeah, it's like at a certain time of day, I think midnight, you have to make a little jump here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's like the first day of the month or something like that.
Is it? It's something I knew it was like time-based.
I think it's time-based and like day-based.
Yeah, so you have to go into your clock settings and mess with that if you want to get it. Otherwise, you'd actually do it.
Or you do it legit.
Wait.
Excuse me.
You could do it legit.
Yeah,
you could
Colin.
do it legit. Sometimes those do actually pop up from the Master Chief Collection when you're playing a game and there is a day-based one or something like that. And you'll just randomly get it. But that's more of just kind of a luck thing. But they do say specifically in the achievement, like, do this on this day and you'll get 5 achievement points. Totally worth it. It is fun to at least get used to the Warthog here, which is pretty. I mean, the controls are refined from what they have been in the other games. I think it still feels good in general. But now let's talk about the next part you get to once you get out of this cave and wreckage area. Is now we get to start shooting stuff, and the Covenant have already dug in a little bit, and they have phantoms dropping people off, and they have their barriers set up, and there's ghosts around. The end goal, I like how open this area is, and you can really approach. You can skip certain things if you want, or you can head down the middle, or you can clear out everything. You really can take any approach for this. David, how are you? Are you taking the Warthog? Are you trying to hop in a ghost right away, or what are you doing here?
Because I have the saw, and I love it, I play this game where I try and not use the weapon I love, so that I still have the ammo for it, so I can magically use it again. So I took the Warthog and ran over a bunch of dudes and hopped in the back and like shot a bunch of guys on my chain gun and stuff like that. So cool. I do like that. I had some good fun with that, and I also realized like on the higher difficulty they will plasma bolt you and EMP your Warthog real fast. They can rapid charge their shots. So I got EMP'd a lot. I kind of eventually abandoned it. And then you fight up to like where there's a sniper and there's an elite with a concussion rifle and a grunt with a fuel rod cannon. So like there's a bit of variation here in how you fight and what you do. So I kind of cleaned them out. Did have to use my saw, unfortunately, but also exceptionally because it's great. And so that cuts through enemies. It's pretty sweet. I did pick up the concussion rifle because, like I said in the previous episode, I do try and like this weapon, so I'm trying to use it again. So I did kind of alternate between that and the fuel rod just to kind of mess around with the last couple of jackals here. That was kind of it, really.
Nice. How painful is this area in Legendary, Krysta? I'm forgetting.
Not painful at all. Honestly, the Covenant are super easy on Legendary. Like, there's not really a problem.
Nice.
What I did was I took out both ghosts with the turret of the Warthog, and then I immediately abandoned the Warthog and I sniped some of the jackals and grunts, and then I ran to the right where the spire is. I took out other grunts there and then stole the beam rifle, which is amazing in this game. Oh my god, beam rifle! Give it to me. The snipers in this game are exceptional.
Is it because you can pop it off quickly, or is it just super accurate, or what?
It just feels really good. If you remember, like In release order, the game before this was the focus rifle from Halo Reach, which was doo-doo, piece of garbage doo-doo. The beam rifle from Halo 2 was really good. Halo 2 and 3 was really good, but this one's really nice as well. It aesthetically looks good. I like the reticle for it. It's just kind of like a tiny square, which I really like. I think it's very helpful. But I immediately, honestly, what my strategy is, and it's really funny, so the exit to this has a grunt on a turret. If you snipe the grunt off the turret, the elite will immediately take control of the turret and won't let go of the turret.
Oh, he just stays on it.
Yeah, which makes it really easy to snipe him.
Yeah,
so
totally.
That's what I do for that. Super easy. Everything else is just, headshots for the grunts and jackals. Of course, when I get up there, I abandon the beam rifle for a carbine and a plasma pistol and take out the concussion guy and then move into the cave from there.
Nice. I was doing co-op, as I mentioned in the last episode. So Nate Bacon and Jesse White took the hog, and I was on foot, and they were, clearing things out. I think because we're doing co-op, we were kind of clearing out everything, which is, what you want to do in co-op. And then I was on foot and just, cleaning up whatever I could. I think I had the long range. I think I had the sniper, yeah, and then my battle rifle, so I was trying to go long range, and then they were going a little more close range. So I did play co-op, and then I also did play solo for the mission, and I did figure out, have you guys gotten the Warthog up on that ridge?
No,
I know you can do it.
Yeah, so I did it because we were joking about it when we were playing co-op, but I ended up getting it up there. You blow up the Covenant Tower, and then you kind of like use the Warthog to nudge one of the pieces of the tower close enough where you can just kind of jump and ramp up on top there. And then you have the Warthog for a little while longer. Actually, a while longer. I'll talk about when I finally lost it, but you can take it quite a ways. The thing is, though, when you go through this cave, there are some grunts there, and one of them has the fuel rod. So I did it the first time. Yeah. And I was like, yes, all right. And then I get through the cave, I get to those guys, and they immediately blew me up. So I had to do it again. I was much more careful going through the next cave. But yeah, it just takes a little time. It's not too hard to do. The next cave you can see there's the structure that you're going towards once you go through this next cave, and there's kind of two paths, right? You can go on the far left and wrap around on the left side, or you can go up onto the right. There's some enemies and whatnot in the middle as well. David, are you going left? Are you going right? What are you doing here?
I go to the right a little bit because there's more ammo. There's some ammo crates there, so you can get some kind of ARs and magnums there and stuff like that. So, I went
There's
there.
a sniper up top too that I think you got to take out.
Yeah, there is a sniper jackal. I pretty much ran out of saw ammo at this stage. Taking out these dudes.
Sad.
I know, but fortunately, some of the Covenant weapons are pretty good in this game. So I did cycle through a bunch of carbines and stuff like that. And what else is there? Is it this part? Yeah, you kind of fight your way through. I go to the right. You kind of clear out all the kind of enemies. You fight your way up this little kind of structure, and you meet like a stealth elite. And you kind of he killed me the first time because I kind of forgot he was there. But he surprised me. So you kill him.
And you get your armor mod.
Yeah, he drops the sword, and you get your new kind of armor mod, which is stealth, and
which sucks.
Yeah, it's not great. You have to walk real slow for them not to see you.
It's dumb.
Yeah, it's not the best.
It doesn't last very long either, right?
No, it doesn't. No.
Yeah, I don't think I use that very much at all. We'll talk about. How about we do this when we encounter the next armor mod? We'll just talk about it at that point. So
okay.
Stealth is all we've had at this point, I believe. Krista, do you go left or right?
I take out enemies on both sides, but I go left first and then circle around and go right and then go up the ramp from the right side.
Okay. Similar approach though as David, I would imagine.
Yeah.
Just being careful, and especially on Legendary, right?
Yeah, I mean, just the Sword Elite, it's just plasma pistol headshot. He's not really
just charges you.
Problem. He doesn't actually charge you until you kill all the grunts and jackals there. So if you stay back a little bit, you can just kind of snipe them with the plasma pistol.
Oh, nice. For some reason, I always go left, and I don't know why. It just feels like the right way to go. Yeah, I just always go left and then just head up. Kind of, I don't know. I feel like maybe I try to sneak up a little bit, so I clear out everybody on the left. There's still Covenant on the right side that I don't always kill, but then I can just take out the Sword Elite up the middle. There is the door activates on the other side, and then this is where we get to the room where we see all these. You see the Sentinels, which we haven't seen yet.
Hey.
And then the room kind of comes to life, right? It activates. You see all the Sentinels hop up or fly up and fly away, and then all these, I don't know, platforms raise and all like things happen. The room creates itself almost in front of you.
Yeah. Something of note in this room is there is another interactable item here.
Oh yeah, talk about that.
Yeah. So there's like there's a higher kind of platform with an underneath section. If you go to the underneath section and you walk towards the door you just came in from, there is a Forerunner artifact there that kind of explains what the Mantle of Responsibility is. It's Mantle of Responsibility shelters all, yada yada yada. And
is it like a reclaimer symbol too? I'm forgetting.
It's the Cryptum symbol.
Oh, okay, gotcha. We've talked about the Mantle of Responsibility. We have have.
Yeah,
right?
and I'll talk about it more in the terminal because that's pretty relevant in the terminal coming up.
Okay, cool. So the room is empty, and you can go. I would go do that little interaction that Krysta just talked about right now because the room gets busy after that. We go and we push a button like we always do. I love how pretty much all in Halo 4
it's just pushing buttons.
It's just pushing a little green button.
Pushing simulator.
And he doesn't always hit it right in the center either. It's like he just uses his finger and just smashes it. Do something. I believe we get a little cutscene here, do we not?
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, we David, do. You want to take it?
Yeah, we got a little cutscene. You were in a cartographer room because we love cartographer installations and the word cartographer.
Exactly.
So you have a little interactable. So I love how Chief interacts with the environment here. You actually see him push buttons and do things. I always kind of appreciate that about Halo 4.
Mm-hmm.
And there is what else is kind of happening here? Sorry. Chief inserts Cortana very handily. So I think it's great that their little chips are perfectly fine. There was USB-C. Or what are we on now? Probably USB-Z at this stage, I'd say. So USB-Z is in effect, and Chief can just plug in Cortana. And she projects herself up and kind of starts asking the system, say, or in a cartographer. It's where you figure out that you're on Requiem. So you get the name of the planet you're on. And she explains it as like a hollow planet, essentially, in terms of like you're in a section of it, you were sucked inside. So you're like on the kind of inner surface. I think it's not really kind of well described. You're in a shield world anyway. That's what
outer surface. Maybe.
Yeah.
Anyway, continue.
So she explains then there's like a signal. Is it that they're picking up a weird signal and it's coming from over here in this location? So she kind of accesses and tries to find a way to get you there.
I think it just shuts down.
Does it? Oh, sorry.
Away.
Sorry, it does. It shuts down straight away. A weird symbol pops up. If you were watching the marketing for Halo, you would have noticed this symbol before because they put it.
No, it just flickers red on this one. The symbol's the next one.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
I thought the symbol popped, but it goes red anyway. And then you have to go and activate these two pylons, and when you do that, some Covenant.
And Cortana's also like super offended. She's just like.
Yeah, like what happened?
She's like,
she's like super confused. So you reactivate again,
up.
fight some Covenant, and reactivate the two pylons, and come back, and you get another little cutscene. So I'll just keep going. Cortana.
Wait a minute. Do we want to talk about that? Let's talk about this encounter really quick.
Okay.
So yeah, you go and you push more buttons essentially, but there's a bunch of stuff that happens here. The room feels pretty flooded with Covenant. There's lots of them, jackals, grunts. There's some elites to deal with as well. Is this tough on Legendary?
Not really. No.
No. Okay. You can. Do you have to clear the full room in order to get to the back to the buttons?
I do. The first one doesn't actually have a lot of Covenant either. It's like 2 elites and some grunts.
That's right. Yeah, the second one, there's more. Right?
Yeah. There's a little more. Yeah. It's not too bad.
Okay. So you didn't have too much problem. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, there's some Covenant shooting to do, so maybe it's not worth walking through. But I guess the interesting thing is that so the computer shuts down. There's two things to go and to activate, I guess, reactivate, and they must have deactivated because the Covenant came in. So you go push the button, and then it is interesting how there's like the little elevator thing that like goes down.
Yeah.
So you push the button up top, and then it slowly takes you down. You can turn around and jump and just go back to the light bridge if you want, or you can go down along with the little elevator as well. Yeah, I guess you go hit the button and activate a light bridge to go across, and then you hit another. But yeah, it's lots of punching that button. Yeah. So then clear out things however you want. I think what I did when I was playing is I discovered that center room, and that's actually not a good room to be in this area because they can get you from both sides. So I kind of trapped myself in there and had a little bit harder time than I should have. If you kind of skirt around the edge and have at least a wall to your back, it's not too bad of an encounter. I did have a little bit of a problem with the elites because there's some jackals and there's a couple of elites that are just camped out at that console that you were at originally. So those guys gave me a little bit of a problem, but other than that, it wasn't too bad. All right, David, you can continue now.
Thank you, Colin. So essentially, you get the other cutscene comes back, trying to access the system, finds out a bunch more information. Like I said, it's a cartographer. This is a planet. You're inside the planet. She gets a signal. She has like a weird symbol pops up, and she says, "This is interesting. This is the symbol for Reclaimer, and which is humanity." So Chief is like, "Oh, interesting that they have a humanity symbol on a specific area." So they figured, okay, that must be humans. There must be humans here. I wonder at this stage did they pick up an infinity call, or what did it say?
Yeah, they did.
Is all
happening?
Static at this point?
Yeah, it's all static, but you're getting like a symbol. So you think, oh, there must be humans here. Somebody must have come here and picked up our signal or something like that. So
she does drop infinity, though.
Does she? So she did find infinity from that? Okay, so we know what.
Yeah.
This is a ship called Infinity. So they're like, how do we get there? So she's like, okay, she kind of plots a course, and that's kind of the kind of cutscene kind of ends there. And then Cortana's kind of weird here in terms of like things are happening. She's doesn't really understand it. So Chief kind of plugs her out and puts her back in.
Yeah.
And is it when they step away, it flashes red and the symbol pops up for?
Yeah.
Do we know what it is yet? It's
an ancient evil awakened symbol.
Yes.
It's in all of the at the end of all of the
marketing campaign and stuff like that. Yeah. So there you go. We can explain what that symbol is in the next mission. But
yep.
That's kind of the kind of mission continues then.
What she talks about here is she talks about going to find the source of the signal, and it's deeper inside.
It's deeper inside the planet, so you got to move deeper inside.
At this point, they think the infinity's inside the planet as well.
That's right, yeah. So they thought they got sucked in. So they're like, okay, there's like a portal system nearby, so we need to go there, and we can access that to kind of teleport ourselves further inside the planet.
Yeah.
So that's your now objective.
Yep, that's your new objective. So grab Cortana, plug her back into your brain, and then, actually, as you're walking away, I think there's maybe some more red stuff going on. So you're just like, everything's kind of mysterious right now still. The next area, you can pick up some more armor mods at the next area. There's a hard light shield.
Fuck that.
Oh man, I love the hard light shield.
Really? You move so slow when it's activated.
But I love it. I use it so many times just to kind of deflect things, and things bounce off it, and you're pretty much invincible with the hard light shield. It's amazing.
So do you use it when like your armor shield is low?
I do,
is that the best time to use it?
I also like using it when I see something coming, and I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to run it away from this plasma bolt or grenade. I'm just going to hard light shield. And I've even stopped and had an amazing moment of a raid shot. So a raid shot came in, I just popped the hard light, and it blew up around me, and I was like totally fine. It was epic. It was a wonderful moment.
Hard light shield is just Halo 4's armor lock.
Yeah, pretty much. But you're a lot more weaker, obviously, because enemies will shoot you from the sides.
And behind.
And behind you and stuff. So like, it's good, and it doesn't last very long. So you got to be careful, because very often I'll pop it with no shields, use it to defend myself a little bit. But you've got to retreat and get into cover, because as soon as it drops, you've no shield. You can't activate that again because it's got a cooldown, and you're dead.
Oh wait, it takes away your own armor shield?
No, it doesn't.
If you activate it with your shield.
Yeah, like if you activate it with your shield down, it doesn't last long enough for your shields to recharge behind it.
I see.
If you get me, so
gotcha.
it's only a very short-term measure.
Okay. And if you think about, I think Chris already mentioned the last game that was released was Reach, and a lot of these are continuations or refinements, I guess, of the armor mods from that game.
Yeah.
All right, so now we have the bridge, and this bridge is reminiscent of Halo CE.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, it is a little bit.
And there's that bridge
cool.
you go across twice, I think. You go there and back, and there's flood and all that sort of stuff. What's your this bridge? I'm not a big fan of.
Oh, I love this.
I love this. You get a banshee.
Yeah, there's loads of weapons.
You do get a banshee.
There's a spanker.
I don't know. It just feels
shotgun.
tedious because it's just a straight line. And when I think of Halo and having fun in Halo, I like a big area, kind of like what we had previous to this. So
Banshee gives you the whole skybox.
I'm not a big fan. That's true. But you don't get the Banshee until the next area after you go through the next door. But anyway, why don't you guys talk about your experience, because it's not my favorite area. Krysta, tell me about the bridge.
Isn't there a Banshee with no one in it on the bridge?
There
sure
is,
but you go through a door. You have to go through a door to get to it. It's like on the next section.
No, you don't.
No,
you
it's
can pick
right
up a
on the
Banshee here.
bridge.
It's right on the bridge.
Well, maybe it's like halfway through the bridge.
Yeah,
it's halfway through the bridge.
Okay,
just...
so it's a long bridge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay, Colin.
But the first part of the bridge has just a couple grunts and jackals, and then the second part has like one elite. So you just take out the elite, take the Banshee, and fly to the other side of the bridge. I always take out the other Banshees because I like to.
Yeah, straight away.
And then I take out the elite guarding the door on the opposite side, and then I just go through the door.
Yeah.
Can you take the Banshee through the door?
No, I've tried. So hard that you can't do it.
Too small.
There's also a Spanker rocket launcher here, which has lock on again, which is kind of cool. There is also a shotgun. So the shotgun in Halo 4 is really good. So I'd say they brought it back a bit.
But there's nothing to use the shotgun on.
Well, in the next section, there's plenty of enemies to use the shotgun on.
Shotgun is for flood only. Change my mind.
Okay.
Why are there UNSC weapons here, though? That's interesting. Because usually they make sense.
I think it's supposed to be all of the debris that's fallen down from Forward Unto Dawn.
Yeah,
that's true.
It lands in convenient areas, is all I'll say. But I'm not going to argue with UNSC ammo drops because I love their weapons. So they always look like scattered
on their
pockets.
side. They're never straight up and nice and pristine. Yeah,
they're broken open or collapsed or on their sides and stuff. So.
Mm-hmm. So, Krysta, Legendary Run, you probably didn't clear out there. You probably just made a run for it.
Yeah, I just got in the Banshee, took out the other Banshees because it's fun. Took out the
okay.
elite.
So you did do those.
Yeah, took out the elite on the far side and then just went through the door.
Okay. I thought you might... I mean, that's what you described earlier, but I thought maybe because this run is Legendary, you might have had to. Because your Banshee's not quite as... I don't know. The armor is pretty low when you're playing on Legendary. So
it's not too bad.
No?
Okay.
Good.
I don't know. I do a lot of flips and stuff with the Banshee, though. I'm pretty good at maneuvering the thing.
Yeah, right. I think I've talked about before. I've never, I feel like I want to become a good Banshee driver, but I've never been there.
You just got to do the Banshee missions over and over again.
Yeah, right.
But the problem is every Halo game's Banshee is different. Like, the Banshee tricks from Halo 4 are pretty fast. The Halo Reach ones are super fast, and Halo 5 is slow as molasses.
Yeah.
Halo 5's Banshee is super slow.
Mm-hmm. Let's go to the next area because we're getting close to the end. So you go through the door, and then this I like this area because it's wide open. So
yeah, this is pretty cool. To kind of fight to it feels like fighting up the control room kind of stuff. It's a cool layout.
Right. You have a ghost that you can hijack right away if you want to, which I do. I think everybody does, right? Who doesn't take the ghost?
I don't take the ghost.
What?
No way, man. There's on your left and on your right. On your left is fully equipped saw, and on your right is a Spanker rocket launcher. There's shotgun, battle rifles. Oh my god, man! There's every weapon you need right here. So but
there's a ghost.
Who cares about the stupid ghost? Colin, you got a saw, okay? I blow those ghosts up.
You want to use that saw? I got it.
Yeah, I bring the rocket launcher with me into this section, and most of the time I blow up the two ghosts. Try and assassinate a ground, and then take out the turrets.
Yeah, those turrets are kind of a pain
Yeah,
if you don't focus on them right away. Krysta, anything different on your end?
I always snipe the grunt out of the ghost, and I think I picked up the ghost a little bit just to kind of take out the enemies on the ledges and on the turrets on either side, and then I think I took out the other ghost. There are 2 ghosts. I used one ghost to take out the other because it's the easiest way to get rid of them. Sniped a couple enemies and then abandoned the ghost.
Yeah. I took the ghost up, and I think you can get the ghost through. You just have to, like, cut the wings off.
Yeah, it's annoying, though.
But that's annoying, yeah, because there's a blockade here towards the end. But you can, gonna go into the bottom section of the structure. You wind your way up. There, I think it's a stealth elite up here,
with
too.
a sword.
Mm-hmm. So you can grab a sword, which you might want to have some fun with.
He's not stealth, he just charges you.
Yeah. Oh, he just has a sword.
Also, on Legendary at least, any ammo damage doesn't stagger him, so he'll always run straight at you. So you gotta be...
Oh, really?
Yeah, you gotta be fast on the plasma pistol battle rifle combo.
Gotta be efficient. There's some needlers up here in this area, and I think I picked those up a little bit too, because there's some like groups of Covenant, and the needler does good things in groups. We can't. Did we talk about it before? We can't dual wield anymore, right?
No, we lost control of our other hand.
So the upgrades, the nanobots. It's the nanobots' fault, really. It took us.
We can't use our other hand, but we can use our legs.
Right. Yeah, we'd just be too OP if we could dual wield and sprint. That's just too much. We wind around this area. You can go either left or go right. I feel like I flip-flop, but I'm not really consistent. David, are you consistent on one side or the other?
No, I'm all over the place. I don't think there's an advantage or disadvantage to one or the other.
Not really.
There's different weapons, I believe.
There's different weapons, but you fight the same kind of enemies. Some jackals, an elite. There's some snipers, grunts.
Mm-hmm. I believe there's a similar mission in Spartan Ops, which we'll talk about later on. At least a similar feel. But we work our way up, and let's just talk about the hunter fight, right?
Oh, so much fun!
Yeah, it's a cool fight with the Sentinels are up there, and
trying to keep the Covenant down, which is kind of important that the Sentinels and the Forerunner constructs are against the Covenant at the start.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of interesting, and it's kind of cool when you come up and you get these 2 hunters with their backs to you. There's some fuel rods around here, so it's good.
Yeah, there's a box with fuel rods of full ammo, so. And the fuel rods actually shoot really fast in Halo 4.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's good explosions as well. It's just a good time. I believe I used the my energy sword and tried to stab him a couple times.
Did you?
Yeah, I think it worked too.
Colin just having fun.
You know, it's heroic, so it's not too bad.
Yeah.
You still have to be kind of careful, but David, how about you? What'd you do?
I didn't do anything crazy here. I had... What did I have left at this stage? I didn't have any saw because I sawed crap out of everyone else. So I kind of had some Covenant weapons. I think I had a beam rifle. I picked it up from the sniper. And I had a fuel rod. So one of them I got down with a fuel rod. The other one was still alive and charging me and stuff like that. The Sentinels actually helped a lot to distract it. So I kind of managed to take him down with grenades.
Oh, okay, nice.
And kind of, again, I was reminded of how much I'd love to be able to board a hunter and throw a grenade inside him and watch him explode.
It would be so good. Maybe in the game that we don't know about yet.
Halo what?
That would be great.
Halo what?
Halo what?
All right. We clear those guys out. We go in this room, and we have... The room is empty, but it kind of like... It's leading you towards something. At least that's how it feels.
It's
the walls
super
kind of
cool.
draw back.
This is a really cool room. The music's... I really like the kind of forerunnery ancient music in this game.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people are used to the ba-da-da-da kind of...
Yeah, we haven't heard that at all yet, right? There's no Halo anthem. Maybe later there is, but it's completely void right now, which I think is good.
I think music adds a lot of familiarity to things, and I think having very different music adds kind of a very unknown factor and feel to Requiem.
Yeah.
Make it a little more alien.
Totally. That's a good point. We have the terminal underneath.
Yeah, the
so
ramp.
Go and... Yep, so under the ramp, you get a little... It's like a little ball something, and it, dissipates. when you hit X. So do that, and then we'll talk about that in a little bit. Talk about what that has to offer. You then just wind around this structure, I guess we'll just call it that, and then go up the elevator. It just kind of takes you up. Cortana, she mentions the domain here.
Yes, she does.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah, she does. She says that the terminal is in a loop trying to contact the domain, which is, I don't understand, because the domain is technically, it's not active, but it's active, right?
Mm-hmm. Well, it exists, but I do think it's locked down, and that's kind of explained with in a comic later on and stuff.
Yeah, you have to read a comic.
Spoilers. Yeah, but like their domain does exist, but it's inaccessible at the moment.
Okay.
From
so
all
that's
Forerunner tech, aren't they?
All Forerunner tech actually works off of the information that is contained in the domain. So all computers and systems and stuff want to have access to the domain because it's pretty much super alien, galaxy-wide internet.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like an all-knowing server on the internet.
Yeah,
pretty much.
It has like thousands and thousands of years of information and technology, and it's just a huge wealth of information.
Yeah, it's important to know in the game. Well, not super important, but it's mentioned more in the extended lore, extended universe, and in the comic books. They talk about the domain quite a bit. We'll remind you what the domain is, along the way, and maybe as it becomes relevant to the story. All right, so we have our final cutscene now. Now, once we go up this elevator, David, why don't you do that?
You up the elevator. What are you talking?
You walk slowly across
the spooky bridge,
the big long bridge, right?
The spooky bridge.
And you see these like pillars off to the side. And they kind of like their lighting and whatnot.
Oh yes.
And then you plug in Cortana.
She walks like opening a portal.
So yeah, she kind of accessed the portal, and it's a weird kind of unusual shaped room. It's kind of ominous. There's all these weird spires and platforms. It's kind of protruding out of the ground. Yeah, spooky bridge. So Chief interfaces with Cortana, and then she kind of activates the system. Decides, okay, yeah, this is the portal system or whatever. There is the pylons are from here. We have to get from here to here, but we can't teleport directly there. For some reason, I can't really remember why. Is there a reason why she can't get directly there? Anyway,
she doesn't really talk about that.
Yeah.
She just says she's accessing. This is the transport system. This is the portal system. That
one of the hubs.
Activating.
Yeah, that connects to various places all over the planet. She's trying to access it, and it's not letting her. So she's not getting the information that she was. And then she starts getting readings, and then these beings start materializing all around Chief and activating. They have this blue glow about them. They have they're pretty beefy looking. They're kind of aggressive. They're shouting and screaming. Chief is kind of panicking a little bit.
Get us out of here.
Oh
and then
shit, get us out of here right now. And she's like, I'm trying to, I can't. And then a portal activates, and she's like, how the, okay Chief, go. So you get the impression she didn't do it.
Looks at the, well,
looks
at the thingies, and she looks
Yeah.
really confused, and which is weird. It's very uncharacteristic for her.
Yeah. So obviously the portal activated, and then Chief drags her out and jumps into the portal. And
The end.
The end.
Yeah, she does. The reclaimer symbol pops up again, and she mentions we just talk about humanity because we kind of know that that's what reclaimers are. And then then we do the portal. The portal thing is a little weird to me in Halo. It's just kind of it's integral in the story. Like, you need to just accept that portals exist, and this black thing will show up, and you jump through it, and you end up somewhere else. If you've played the game Portal, you'll know what a portal is. Previous games have some sort of a transportation system, like Halo CE. Like, Cortana will just drop you in a spot, but you don't actually see the portal itself. But it's just this quick transport Forerunner tech that exists, and there's not a whole lot of explanation about it. Do you guys know how it works?
Not really.
No, not really.
We do know that we have seen similar tech in Shield Worlds, in the extended lore. So this isn't anything new to the Halo lore. Forerunners just kind of use this technology to get from place to place.
And the Forerunner stuff is so enormous that you kind of need this to make sense.
Yeah.
You need some sort of quick transport. So they've built that into the lore and the technology of the Forerunners, because like the shield world is huge. I don't know if we'll talk about that at some point. Probably at some point we'll talk about this, how big it actually is, but it's enormous. And yeah, you just got to get from point A to point B. And I don't see a car around beside the Warthog. It's gonna take you a while.
Yeah,
it's gonna take you a while. And what this portal does is it takes you to what we were talking about is this is taking you to the core of the planet, and we'll talk about that in the next episode, which is pretty cool.
Pretty cool.
All right. Any trivia that we missed, David?
Very little, and I'm finding not a lot really around Halo 4 and the specific missions. Cortana starts the line at the level. Sorry, Cortana's line regarding the level's terminal is not used after the first playthrough unless all Halo 4 is removed from the Xbox 360 system cache. The terminals on this and all subsequent levels are likewise absent from subsequent playthroughs. However, on Xbox One, through the Halo Master Chief Collection, the line can be played again regardless of playing Halo 4 multiple times. So you'll see interesting things crop up, and I'll mention that in the next mission with something else that originally only happened once but will happen multiple times in Master Chief Collection.
Which I really, really liked, honestly. Yeah. Like, Halo 4 was like, the first time you play it, this one thing will trigger, but even if you restart the game and start it new, you can't ever trigger it again, which was really annoying. You had to like make another profile if you wanted to see it again. That's
weird.
It is weird. The level design of the bridge between the cartographer and the terminus is very similar to those in bridges seen in Installation 04 in the control room, like we mentioned. And the overgrowth in the cartographer's room was inspired by that of the ancient Cambodian structures. So that's like a random piece of trivia.
Oh, like Angkor Wat?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I didn't
realize it either.
Really,
it's just one of
the maybe it's up high or something like that. Yeah.
There you go.
Hooray!
Very nice. We have a terminal again.
Oh shit, we got terminals.
Oh,
like a video terminal.
Yes.
Oh, it's pretty hardcore.
Yes.
I hope you guys love the Halo channel.
Oh, don't even mention it.
Yeah.
These terminals are really cool because they're in the live comic book style, which is really nice. Yeah. It's very pretty.
Yep, very good. And I feel like it adds a little aura, I don't know, mystery around them too.
Yeah. It's also like these cutscenes will always look really, really nice just because of the art style isn't realistic. It's very artistic, which I really like. So this one doesn't actually contain too much, but it sets up a couple main characters. We are introduced pretty quickly to a big chamber room where a political discussion is being had between the librarian, the didact, and the master builder, or his actual name is Faber. So the interesting thing about each of these characters is the Forerunner has a caste system where warriors are a caste and engineers are a caste and stuff
life
workers. So the librarian is the head of the life worker caste, kind of caring for other species, animals, and seeing prosperity in that way. Very much
I think it's an interesting
doctors,
thing.
Medical stuff.
Yeah, I was listening to Greg Bear's take, and he explains them in the first book, Encryptum, and it's just kind of like taking all the professions that we have now and kind of distilling them into, like, I don't know, for lack of a better term, like columns of work.
So life workers are like doctors, veterinarians, like zoologists, kind of like that.
Yeah.
Scientists as well, I suppose.
Like biological science.
Yeah.
The didact is the Promethean caste, or the warrior caste.
Like the warrior. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he of course oversees all kind of warfare and stuff like that. He's a master of warfare, ship to ship, combat, stuff like that. So he has warriors and other tools at his disposal. And then the master builder Faber they're pretty much the technology guys. They're engineers, they do technology, stuff like that. I'm not sure if they reveal these in the terminals, but Faber is very important because he's the one who built the Halos.
Mm-hmm.
Cool guy.
I don't think it's addressed in the terminals, so I hope that's not a spoiler, but I think it's pretty important just to get kind of context to who all these people are. Mm-hmm. The librarian and the didact you might remember from the crazy Halo 3 terminals that we just kind of went over.
Well, let's just talk about that really quick.
Sure.
Like, so the shield world was the didact's idea.
Yeah.
and the Halos
were Faber's
the Master Builder and Librarian's idea.
Yeah, so the Didact and Master Builder Faber are actually political enemies. They have two very different theories of how to protect the universe. The Didact with kind of, more of a... Faber's more of the sword, and Didact's more of the shield, kind of. Mm-hmm. Faber's all about weapons, while Didact's all about, creating safe havens.
Well, and also Didact's about protecting the Forerunners specifically.
Yes.
Yeah, and
he wants the Forerunners to continue to carry the mantle.
He wanted to use tactics and stuff like that,
which so does Faber, but he kind of wants to do it through force, and Didact wants to do it. And things kind of change as this goes, and you'll kind of see a character change in all of these, in everyone. But in this cutscene, this cutscene, they are having a roundtable discussion. They are talking about enemies moving deeper into their territory. Should we eradicate them or should we save them? The Didact is very... Didact in this scene is very lawful good, where he's like, no, we must protect everyone. We must protect the mantle. How could we just kill all of these people when we're supposed to be protecting everyone? And he's kind of taking more of a defensive instead of offensive to this. We kind of find out in the next one, but the enemy that they're fighting is actually humanity. Humanity is kind of invading Forerunner territory very aggressively. At this point, the Forerunners and the humans have already had some kind of quarrels and hardships between each other, but now humanity is kind of... they kind of have their own territory, and they're moving very, very aggressively into Forerunner territory, and they don't know why. They just think it's some kind of an invasion. So the Didact's like, no, we should kind of use defensive tools. We shouldn't eradicate all of humanity because of this. Faber's like, okay, sounds good, yo. Library's like, oh, okay. And so the Didact and the Librarian go out for smoochy time on the cliff. And the Didact's like, you're not angry at me, right? And she's totally angry at him. And then they kind of have a hug, and they talk about how they have political differences, but, they kind of stay in the political chambers. And when they're outside of that, they're husband and wife.
But I think, so this is deep lore. It's an arranged marriage, right? That's the whole Forerunner thing? Does that sound right to you guys?
No. So what it is usually a Forerunner will marry in their caste. So the Didact is technically supposed to be married to another warrior servant, and the Librarian is supposed to be married to another life worker. The Librarian and the Didact kind of change things up by going outside of their caste. It's not forbidden, but it's just strange. Because both have varied... Because you're put into a caste based on, personality, level of intelligence, personal goals,
history too. Like if your dad was a certain class, then you would most likely be that same class.
And also just morality. Like everyone kind of has a different sense of morality, and that's kind of why they're in different castes and kind of can represent that. It's very similar. It's like modern day politics, but with like five other parties.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, true.
But yeah, it's just strange that they're together. But they're talking, they're being all lovey-dovey, and the Didact's like, should we go back? And she's like, nah, man, you're with me. But they do mention Requiem. The Didact's going to be departing for the Requiem, and then he says his Prometheans are already there. And then it kind of ends there. It's just a very introductory one. There's not much deep lore. We'll get into the deep lore later.
These terminals get more and more interesting as you get more and more into the lore, right? If you watch it not really knowing anything, you're like, oh, okay, interesting. Doesn't give you a whole lot of context, but it gives you, it's like a rabbit hole to dig down into. Important to the story, no doubt, but it's also kind of on the periphery for what we're doing right now in this moment with Chief.
Mm-hmm. So that's it for that. Hooray! Good terminals again, not novels. Yeah. Thank God.
Right. Yeah. Let's do community stuff, and we're running kind of long. Let's community and get out of here.
GTFO.
Facebook is up. David, what you got?
I got some stuff for you. So, Colin Perkins, moderator, July 3rd at 4:32 p.m. The mission, Requiem, from from Halo 4 was meant to evoke a similar sense of wonder as Halo from Combat Evolved. Did 343 succeed? Open brackets, question for mission debrief, close brackets. So, what we got here is Tyler. Personally, I think 343 succeeded with the sense of wonder. Excuse me for a sec. That was just cough off mic, don't worry, we'll start again. Tyler. Personally, I think 343 succeeded with a sense of wonder due to the first time the player is on a Forerunner shield world. While I was playing, I couldn't wait to see the depths of Requiem. That's pretty cool. I was impressed also. Matthew says, I would say yes. The moment you exit the remnants of Forward into Dawn and the Covey ships and you're looking out onto the Requiem, amazing. I was blown away with how far they were able to push the 360. There was even birds flying in flocks in the distance. That's right, they do move in herds. James Whitmarsh, everything was going smooth till I saw those terrible 343 elites. Oh, James.
Oh, man. It's an art style thing.
Yeah, I think so. Jesse White says, did you dawn already? Yep, it was a question about the crime movie.
Oh, yeah, you can skip that.
Okay, you were having conversations. Not related, guys, come on. Sam Alexander, the part where you gaze upon the massive imposing Forerunner machines and empty value before you get the hog is absolutely Keanu Reeves. AKA
breathtaking.
Kyle DeFredo says, not at all. The only thing I wondered was why the Warhawk sounded like a moped. On a serious note, Halo the mission did a great job of showing off the Halo ring, because most of it had a huge skybox opening when you were looking out over the cliff. I know what he's talking about. It was a holy shit moment. The only impressive part that I can remember is that you see the Forerunner structures after coming out of the first canyon. The rest of the mission is pretty linear, very narrow canyons where you don't really see much of Requiem at all. I can agree with that. It does have that one moment that it shows you, but then it is, Halo's a corridor shooter still in some cases. Lucas Fritzer, not necessarily. Halo was a very non-linear level. This level was very linear. It looked pretty though. Halo has okay, I know what he means. Brian Yap says, to me it felt like every Halo gives a sense of wonder in their own ways. Well said. James Goodsell, no, because there was no Marines to keep you company. Halo 4 was a lonely disappointment with useless attached characters with no focus or plot. And they ruined the Pelican. Boo. Alright, James.
Wow.
Alright, James.
We got a Bungieite.
That's okay.
Among us.
That's okay. I can understand where he's coming from.
Yeah.
Visually, I was impressed though. Last comment is Alan Alcorn. I love the view of coming up the hill and seeing the massive Forerunner structure in the clearing. It seems like they hit a chord with that one image. Everyone kind of comments on it. The strings and the soundtrack coming in, you just knew this place was like the original Halo, epic, ancient, and alien. It's pretty cool. There you go.
Very nice. Thanks, everybody, for chiming in. Krysta?
All right, I have the same question.
How bad was Discord?
Yeah.
How bad were they?
It was okay.
Were they nasty?
You'll kind of see through the responses that Halo 4 isn't quite as loved as some of the previous Halos. It's just kind of a thing. There's definitely a disconnect between Bungie era and 343 era, and you can kind of point out who's into it and who's not.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Not saying that the people with negative comments on this are completely against 343. Most of them really like 343. Because most people in our groups like 343 because we talk about modern day Halo a lot.
Well, right, yeah, because we're all still talking about Halo.
Yeah. So, my friend Rai says, I don't think so personally. I'll never forget the first time I played the mission Halo. It was revolutionary, the size of the map, and it also had a straight line story, but you had choices on how you wanted to go about each section. I'm still finding new ways to attack those missions after all these years, whereas Requiem for me was just another linear map with no real exploration elements. Min says basically what Sam said. The initial reveal of the Forerunner pillars is underwhelming, seeing that you can't even see half of it. The scenery is pretty generic and also made me really feel like I was just going button to button, but it also feels way too long. Just as a note, if you look up in the sky when you're on Requiem, it's blue, but you can kind of see the top of the planet, which I think is super cool. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of see like metal stuff. Monk says, I don't think they succeeded. I remember enjoying the level, but never got the wide open, awe-inspiring feeling that I got from Halo. And then Redacted says, coming out of the cave and seeing the huge Forerunner pillar was amazing. The moment replicates the wonder from Halo when you enter the cave and see the huge bridge and the light. It made me go, damn, how did the Forerunners do this? This must be pretty amazing. The natural landscape in Requiem leaves a lot to be desired, however. If only 343 waited a year or so to launch this on Xbox One instead. Which it would be 3 years, because Xbox One was 2015. This is 2012. I think that's too long to wait.
No, Xbox One was 2013.
13? Oh, okay.
This is 2012.
Yeah, that would make more sense for them to...
Halo 5 came out in 2015.
That's what I get messed up with. And that's about it. Yay!
It would be interesting to hear how... So, when I think about Halo 4, this was one of the first games that I played when I was like fully onto the hype train and all that sort of stuff. I went back and played all the Halos before I played Halo 4, but I hadn't played them all at this point. This is kind of my jumping on point. And I have fond memories of this moment. So it would be interesting to hear if other people that are newer to the Halo universe, if they played only 4 and then went back, and what their thoughts were from this Requiem mission versus Halo CE, just to kind of get that different perspective, because I feel like a lot of people are longtime Halo fans that are comparing that moment, when they first played Halo. But like for me, this was this wasn't my first Halo, but it was kind of my first, because this is when I really just decided to dive in, right? Anyway, just something to think about.
I remember that moment fondly from my first playthrough, but in subsequent playthroughs, it's not as impactful.
Yeah. Yep, that's true. Okay, I think we're done.
I think we're done.
All right, let's be done then. That will do it for our debriefing of Requiem from Halo 4. On the next episode, we'll be covering Forerunner. Send us your thoughts at podcastevolved@gmail.com or drop us a tweet at podcastevolved on Twitter. Until next time, evolve.
Evolved.